You are not too far gone. There is a lie that moves quietly through the minds of people who are suffering. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It simply settles in, slowly, over months or years, until one day you realize you have accepted it as fact without ever examining it. The lie sounds like this: I have gone too far. I have waited too long. I have failed too many times. Whatever grace is available to other people, it is not available to me anymore. I have used up my portion. I have worn out my welcome. If you have lived inside that thought, if it has become the quiet background noise of your days, I want to speak directly to it tonight. It is not true. Not partially true. Not true for most people except you. Not true in every case except yours. It is simply not true. And the God who made you wants you to know that. The doctrine that destroys this lie, Reformed theology, is sometimes caricatured as cold, as a system more interested in God's sovereignty than in His mercy. But anyone who has read deeply in the Reformed tradition knows the opposite is true, that the doctrine of grace, properly understood, is the most radical and complete dismantling of this lie that exists anywhere in human thought. Here is what it teaches. Your salvation, if you are His, was not initiated by you. It was not maintained by you. It does not depend on your consistency, your faithfulness, your ability to hold yourself together through hard seasons. It rests entirely on the unchanging character of a God who chose you before you had done anything good or bad, and who will complete what He began in you regardless of how many times you have stumbled along the way. Philippians 1:6, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. He began it. He carries it. He completes it. You are not the one holding this together. You never were. And the fact that you feel like you are falling apart does not mean the work is failing. It may mean that God is doing the part of the work that requires you to have nothing left of your own. The prodigal and the father who ran. Jesus told a story about a son who took everything his father had to offer, walked away, spent it all, and ended up in a place so low he was eating food meant for pigs, and wishing he could. At his lowest point, the text says he came to his senses. Not that he cleaned himself up. Not that he made himself presentable. He simply turned toward home, rehearsing an apology he wasn't sure would be enough, and the father saw him while he was still a long way off. He didn't wait at the door. He ran. That detail is not incidental. In the culture of that time, a man of dignity did not run. Running meant lifting your robe, exposing yourself, abandoning the posture of someone in control. The father ran anyway, because what was coming home mattered more than how he looked getting to it. That is the God you are dealing with, not a God who watches from a distance to see whether you make it back on your own. A God who sees you while you are still far off, who moves toward you before you have finished your apology, who covers you before you have explained yourself. You do not have to be ready. You do not have to be cleaned up. You just have to turn. Shame is not the final word. One of the heaviest things that suffering people carry is shame. Not just the pain of what they are going through, but the secondary weight of believing they should not be going through it, that a real Christian would not be depressed, would not be this anxious, would not have taken this long to get better, would not still be struggling with the same things. That shame is a lie too. The men and women in Scripture who were most deeply used by God were not the ones who had it together. They were the ones who had been broken open. Moses was a murderer and a man of profound self-doubt. Elijah asked God to let him die. Peter denied the person he loved most 3 times in one night. And these are not footnotes in their stories. These are the moments that Scripture preserves, because God is not ashamed of broken people. He is drawn to them. Your weakness is not disqualifying you from His purposes. It may be precisely what He is working with. Come as you are, there is nowhere you can go that His grace cannot reach. There is no depth of failure, no length of absence, No accumulation of doubt and distance and wrong turns that places you outside the reach of a God whose love was settled before the foundation of the world. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too tired, too complicated, too much, or too late. You are exactly the kind of person this grace was designed for. Come as you are. Come back as many times as you need to. Come without your apology rehearsed if you haven't got the words yet. He sees you while you're still a long way off, and he is already moving. With grace, whisper of grace.